Yeah, people. Good night, good night, good night. Hope you're doing alright. Hope everybody alright. Them look over there. Nah, stay long tonight, you know. I just come for show my face and big up some people and wish some condolence to some people as well. Cause, you know, tough times, a lot of it. Tough times. So, hope everybody alright out there. Hope everybody out there are going to keep themselves safe and try to do them best. So, as I say, I stay long, I just come down small minute and show my face. And whoever catch you, catch you. Whoever don't catch you, don't catch you. Pack her done. Big up yourself. I don't know. So, who catch you, who not catch you. I say go. Now, a lot of people out there don't know how to read. And they want to know how to read. Right? They don't know how to read. Them have issues when it comes to reading. It's challenging to them. It's challenging for them. And I would say to me that reading is not so much of a hard thing to do. Maybe you don't understand the principles behind it. And if you don't understand the principles behind it, it might become hard because it have its challenges. It have its own challenges. So it might be Tiwana. Are you that? For you, you know, let's talk out. O'Neil, how are you going? It's been a minute. Been a while. Wait, you change your name for me? When I like that. I'm not getting a notice before I never know it's you. You come for try to trick me tonight, eh? After this time is a calm. Hope you're alright still. Hope the storm never do your bad and thing, you know? So, as a man say, a lot of people don't know how to read. And I think that if we learn to know how to read before we try learning how to read, it would make a huge difference. So, yeah, learn to know. And when you learn to know, when you know, you can learn a whole heap more. So, my approach is always to learn to know how to read first. And it's simple, and we'll come here and we'll do it every single time. Right? You might not understand so we have to do, but we have to do every single time. So, for those who can tap the live. For those who can share it. And for those who finger too tired, go and rest them. You don't know. See that here, it's neither here nor there. So, we need to learn to know how reading work. Does anybody know how reading work? I come all the time and I think I giving you some clues. I think I giving you some ideas. I say, Ermin here with us tonight again. Ermin, tell us, how does reading work? I say, K1 Mommy, they here too. K1 Mommy, how does reading work? Tiwana, how does reading work? Somebody in the chat. I want to know how reading works because I am of the opinion that when you learn to know how to read, it is better than just trying to learn how to read. So you want to learn to know first. That is the first step. Right? So not necessarily by writing, Gabidan. Because I can write anything, but it don't necessarily mean that is how reading work. So I can write anything, but it don't mean that is how reading work. So somebody from the comment section, just kindly type in the comment section, how does reading work? Right? Because we are learning to know first, which is the first step, so we can learn the principle first. When we learn the principle first, after we learn the principle, then now, right? Then now we can use the principle, because we learn how the principle works. So now we know how the principle works. So we can use it for Tiwana name, we can use it for Gabi name, we can use it for Pakadon name, we can use it for anybody name. Not only name, but also any word at all. Right? So reading work by sounds, yes, but me can just make a sound now like S. That wouldn't be reading. So yes, by sound, but you have to be more specific. So it is actually by sound, but it's by putting sounds together. And if you have up to even just two sounds alone, by putting those two sounds together, you're doing what we call reading. So if it look like it's too small, it is still reading. What do I mean by this? Right? Now, as I say, you learn how to know first. So you learn what you need to know how reading work, so you can go back and go do it yourself. So you have a letter, but the letter represent one single sound. So we are going to use that right there. So for represent, say that letter represent one single sound. Right? Now, reading works by sound, but if I just make the sound alone, I wouldn't be reading anything. Really? I would just be making the pronunciation of one sound. Now, this is not blended with anything yet. But if we put the letter A beside it, that is another sound. So in total now, what we have there is actually two sounds. Right? Again, we are learn to know first. So now we are learn to know how reading works, so we can repeat it again. So you learn say this have a sound, and you learn say this have a sound. So for actually read them, you have to put both sounds together, and that is when you get reading. That is when you get what we call reading, or refer to as reading. That is also what we call blending phonemes. That is also what we call blending sounds. Right? That is also what we call looking upon this letter right here, so. And remember, say, if you never know, you have to learn it first, because if you don't know the sound of this, and you don't know the sound of this, I can guarantee that you're not able to read that. You can guess, and it's probably right, but you can't read it consciously. So how would I go about reading this now? It's simple. I would have made the sound for the letter S, and I would have made the sound for the letter A. Now, the sound for the letter S is S, and the sound for the letter A is A. In this case, the letter A don't always say A, Because if I give you this word and I ask you what it is and what sound the letter A make, you would say ah, because that is the word ball, right? If I give you this word and I ask you what sound does this letter make right here, so you would tell me A, because this is bake, right? If I ask you what sound that letter A is making right there, so you would have said ah in the word what. So right then and there, that is already 3 sound that the letter A make. Ah, and A. So far, there's another sound, but I'm not introduce it yet. But I just try to show you say, sometimes when you think say the letter A is making a certain sound, you would have to know beforehand why it makes that sound. And again, that's why you learn first for know how to read. So you're learning the rules to know how to read the thing. You're learning the rule, the principle, to know how to read the word, how to read the sound, how to read the letter. So you learn the rule of how this supposed to sound. It's supposed to sound A, or A. Which one of them? I don't know. But it can make more than one. So what you can do as a practice is, you can put these two together. You can blend them together. One sound, one sound. A, S, Sa, Sa. All I did was just to make the sound of this letter S and move this sound until I reach this position of A. Sa. And I would have read that where I look on. It's as easy as that. And guess what? I bet you no can tell me say, every single word where you read, it read the exact same way. So what I just show you and give you is a gem. Every word where you go buck up on will read the exact same way. Which way is that? You're making the sound of the letters going in this direction right here. So you're moving from here to here to here. So the first sound going come first, the second sound going come after, and the third sound going come after. Who understand what I say? If you understand what I say, drop some emoji in the comment. I see no comment a drop. So I'm going to ask the question again. Who understand what's going on? Drop some emoji in the chat. Sexy Missy, I do online sessions privately as well, not face to face. So if you're interested in trying the online, it works even better than the face-to-face. Just send me a message. The number is here on the board. Send me a message and I'll dialogue back with you. Alright, I still not see nobody drop no emoji yet. So it look like they don't understand what go on. Now, we have the word learn, right? I'm just telling you a while ago say it working at the same principle. The sound will come first you are going to read it first. The sound will come second, you are going to read it second. And the sound will come third, you are going to read it third. So you are going to read it in a chronological order. So you're now going to try read this letter first before this one. You start right here and you flow to this one right there. And if you have another letter right here, you flow to that one right there. And if you have another letter right there, you flow to that one right there. And you keep on doing that until the word has been completed. So, I hope you understand that. Now, take this for example. Right? When you learn to know how to read, you learn to reading works by putting sound together. So, is that a sound? Does that letter make a sound? Yes or no? Does that letter make a sound? It does make a sound. Good. So, this is one letter and this is one sound. Now, as we say, we're going to move in this direction. Right? Now, the next sound is going to be placed right there. And the next sound is this. But the trick about it is that the way the sound are spelled some of the times can be advanced, can be complex, right? But when you learn, again, you learn to know because you don't know yet. So because you don't know yet, you have to learn first. Now when you learn say, this right here, so sound like right? And it's not far different than if you say you spell it sounds this way, but it is spelled this way in writing. Again, it is written this way, like how it stays in the box, for grammatical purposes. Because if you spell it another way, you're not going to be able to spell it grammatically how the word is spelled, no matter how it is called. So, a two sound up so, and the same principle we are use again down here so, is a different word. It's not the same word, but the principle still applies. So you learn the principle, so you know the principle, so that you can go back and use the principle because you have learned it. So now you know it. Boom. This have a sound where it make. It says L, right? L. This have a sound where it make that says right? So we have two sounds working with now. But even though we have two sounds working with, a 4 letters we have down upon the table. 4 letters. Right? But we have two sounds working with. Which means it is these two sounds that we're going to put together. And when we put together, we read that part up onto right here. So this says and this says L. When we put L and we get L. L. So those two sounds combine now to give you what? L. You can't go further than that yet because you don't have another sound. But this is one of the mistakes that a lot of people make. What they would tend to do is they would say L, but what they do is unconsciously they add on another sound right there. So you see, by adding on that extra sound, you have now changed the wording, right? Which means now I go read different because now you put an extra letter and the letter represent a sound, which means that you put an extra sound. And if you put an extra sound where a sound is not needed, then it is going to cause problem and it a go wrong. If you say learn and you put on that t sound, as simple as it is, it change the whole entire word from learn to lert. Now you hear an extra sound in a where you're not supposed to hear an extra sound. People, am I making sense? Am I clear? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Does everybody get what I am saying? Who is not understanding what I'm saying? Somebody say yes, somebody say no. So, alright. The person who say no, keep on watching. Right? Now, a word is made up of what? Letters. As you can see up here, so, that is letters that you're looking at. You're looking at letters. So, what you don't know is beneath those letters. Walk about TV. I don't know if you answer that question, you know, because I just feel like I am the science of reading. So, I don't know if you answer that and give an honest answer without being biased. So. But, I don't know to answer that, honestly. So, back to what I was saying. You have a word. It consists of letters. But what you need to know is that the letters represent sounds. The letters represent sounds. Which means, Anthony, this letter right here, so, is not just a letter alone. So it don't just only name L. It also make a sound that says L. Now, when you're reading, you need to know the sound what this letter make. Anthony, you follow? You need to know the sound what this letter make by looking at it. So when you look upon it, you already know that it says L. That way, when you're ready for read it now, you're going to use back the same sound, which is L, and you're going to put it with this sound, which is Now you have two sounds working with. You're moving from this sound right here, which is L, and you're holding that sound until you reach her. L. The L and the creates a dynamic. It creates a bond, and it forms and fuses these two sounds together. These two sounds fused together create a unique sound that is L. Moving on, we're going to add a next sound. So this way, we can change the word and get something else. Now, what you would have to know when you look at a word like learn is that you would have to know that this is a single letter that makes a sound. This is a single letter that makes a sound. But when it comes to this tricky part right here, so, you would have to know this. So the three of these come together and it sounds So the three sounds you have to read this word is L, N. Learn. You see the word forming out? You hear the word coming together? Because it's the same sounds that I am telling you that I am using and put back together that I am putting together. That is called blending. That is called reading. That is called putting the sounds together. In phonemic awareness, it is a skill that they refer to as blending. That is reading. That's how you read. Right? That's how you read. Now, somebody in the comments say, but EAR is my ears for my head. This is confusing. Don't think I will ever be able to read. Now, Black Latino, you can choose for just keep the knowledge what you have at EAR is the ears of the on your head. And you can say it is confusing and leave it at that. That is up to you. But I personally not gonna do that. Why? Because no matter what you do, you cannot go around this. You can like it, you can hate it, it don't matter. That not have nothing to do. This reading thing, no business if you want to learn it or not. And you have to want to learn it. And when you want to learn it, then you will go out and learn it. So those who are interested to learn it, have to learn it. If you really want to learn how to read good, if you want to learn to read fluently, there's no going around it. You have to learn it. So while it is confusing, yes, it is true. But the brain itself can compensate for all of that because you can go and do repetition. Now, you might wonder how EAR says that. Because if you go and take this out and say this is only ear alone, you would have missed out word pan search. Because in the word search, you hear that sound, and this is what is causing that sound. Right? Yes, it is confusing. Because if you have the word fear, this is still the EAR. Like your ears upon your head. But I am saying you still have to learn whatever sound this say in this word, and you have to learn what it say in this word if you ever want to have no chance of reading that word. That is just fact, and you can't go around it. So you can either choose to learn it or don't learn it. The choice is yours. But me can tell you from now, anybody who want to learn to read fluently, you have to learn these things. There. Yeah, EAR again. But what you can use to your advantage is that you know how to spell the word ear, like ears for your head. And you know say if you put a F on it, that give you fear. And you know say if you put a D on it, that give you deer. If you put a P on it, that give you I don't even remember what I say. You have peer, deer. If you put a W deer, you get weir. You would have already one step can spell these things because you already can spell ear. So you just need to learn now how to manipulate it now to your advantage. But if it's confusing and you just decide to stop this, so that not gonna get you nowhere. So I am just saying that. Now I open to see that this is 1, 2, 3 sounds. The next thing we want to know to see is that this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. So you have 5 letters in a one word, and I want to go 3 sound in here. Learn, burn. Yes, the sound I like, right? And them spell different. But why is it doing that? And this is why me I say you need to learn first so that you can know. You need to learn so the UR can give you the sound that is heard in the word learn. So the EAR gives the same sound that the UR give. That is what you need to learn. So when you learn that, and you know that, now you know how to approach the thing. So it's not confusing for confuse you, because you know say EAR gives you UR gives you IR gives you ER gives you even OR gives you So if you want to sit down and debate say it's confusing, which everybody know that English is confusing, you can spend time on that, or you can spend time figure learn. Your choice. It would be your choice. Moving on to our next word, because I am showing you that it's the same principle that I am using. Right? Look on the word. Sorry. Wait. Let me go back right here. So just for 1 second. Now, if anybody really understand phonemic awareness, right? Whenever you say the word learn, you would hear the 3 sounds them. L, N. Now, these sounds are also called pronunciation. Right? Cool. Did you know that talking is pronunciating? You didn't know that? Whenever you talk, you're pronouncing sounds. Which means, if you can say learn, you have pronounced properly the sound for this, the sound for this, the sound for this. And every single time you say learn, you make 3 sounds. Every single time. You can't change it. Nobody can change it. And if you even bring God come from evil, him can't change it. If him wants to learn, him have to put 3 sounds together. Them exact 3 sounds, yeah. Because if I decide to take out this from her, and I decide to change this and say, you will never get lur right here so again. You will get la, lan. If you can say learn, then it means that you make the 3 sounds correctly. What you can do is try to slow down the word and try to pick up on the sounds that you're saying. This word is what? Does anybody know that word? Does anybody know that word? People, I'm gonna run after this word. So somebody know that word, right? How many sounds does that word make? When you call that word, how many sounds do you hear when you call that word? For those who know that word, whenever you call that word, how many sounds do you hear when you say that word? You hear 2 sounds. That is very, very important to everything about that word. Because if you make the mistake and make 3 sounds be heard or 4 sounds be heard, you would get the wrongest wrong in your life. It has to be 2 sounds. It will forever remain 2 sounds. This year, next year, the year after this, even for the next 5 generations. As long as English is around, which it will be, that word will always contain 2 sounds. And it don't matter who you is, whenever you say it. If he is a big person, whether he is a teenager, whether he is a child, elderly, it don't matter. Anybody call that word has to make two sounds. Now it goes back to what I tell you now. It is the sounds that you put together that gives you reading. It is the sounds that you put together that gives you that blending of those sounds and creating that unique sound that you hear. Now, remember you have to learn first so you can know. Because you probably don't know how to deal with that word. But when you know how reading work, which is sounds and putting sounds together, now you know, so you need to identify what is making the sound. In this case right here, so you can call the word, and the word is no. You can listen to what you're saying. No. It is two sounds coming together. Oh. No. So, we need to separate this now so that it can give you the two sounds what we know it make. A lot of people might not know that the KN is one sound it is making. That's why a lot of people have problem with knife. Because them wonder why knife start with a K. No. What you need to learn is that the K and the N stay together as a team. The K and the N create what we call, just by coming together, it creating itself what we call a digraph. What is a digraph? A digraph is when you have two letters combined, making one unique sound, right? It don't have to make the sound where none of these letters make, right? Just like if we have SH, it don't make none of the sound where these letters make, but it still make a unique sound. So you need to learn that first, for know say at times you have two letters coming together to create one sound. That is important to know. Because look here, even this part of it come back and do the same thing. So this is the word. This now is broken down into sounds. This is one sound and one sound. When you put these two one sounds together, you get this sound which is N, and this sound which is O, and then now you have no. No. I know that you know. That's why you were able to do what you know. People, if you don't understand, it's not my fault. But at least I come and I try to put it on, try to put it on, try to help you, try to make it simple, try to break it down. I ask you if you don't understand. You don't really want to answer, so you can't fight me. I tried. So if you don't want to comment and say if you don't understand or not, then fine. But I'm there to try to help you. Anthony, I hope you get what I did say. If you're still there, I don't know if you get it. But if you don't get it, come back again one next time. Because that's all the time I have for today. And again, for the people, big up on yourself. Hope your family safe. Hope you can get to your family. Hope you alright. Hope you know, strive for better and all these things. So, I just a big one up. Just come show my face. I can know some there still. Help you out again. And as I say, learn first to know. So you learn to know how to read. You don't want to learn how to read. You want to learn to know how to read. So when you know how to read, you can always go back and read. That's the way you want to learn, to know how to read. Now, have a good night. Big up on yourself and take care.